Service chiefs await screening as they will be facing scrutiny from lawmakers from tomorrow. Crisis in the People's Democratic Party ahead of the Oyo Convention. Sule Lamido is threatening to go to court if the chairmanship position is not left open. The crisis for the party that is trying to get back in shape. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimaloye right here in Abuja. Let's begin by letting you know what really happened today in Abuja, some of the major stories. And they're particularly of great attention that we need to give tonight is some of the soundbite that came from an event earlier today in Abuja where we saw the Emir of Kano, His Royal Majesty Mohammed Sanusi, renowned economist Mr. Atedopi Tisai, have identified sycophancy and their mindset to still as the barriers to good governance in Nigeria. The former CBN governor and Mr. Peter Side made a submission at the Oxford Global Think Tank Leadership Conference in Abuja, while Governor Alex Otti of Abia State is expressing optimism that leaders in Nigeria can reinvent the wheel. First, here is what the former CBN governor and the 14th Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, said today about removal of fuel subsidy, the impact on the Jonathan government and the implications for governance in Nigeria.
If Nigerians had allowed the Jonathan government to remove the subsidy in 2011, that would have been pain. But that pain would have been a very, very tiny fraction of what we are facing today. This is the cost of delay. At that time, we worked out the numbers in the central bank, and I stood up and put my credibility on the line and said, remove the subsidy today, inflation moves up from 11% to 13%. I will bring it down in a year. We will not have had 30-something% inflation. We should talk about these things because it's important. There's a kind of poetic justice that it is actually the people who led the Occupy Nigeria movement who ended up seeing the problem, inheriting the problem, and having to do it. I remember calling one of my friends at that time and saying, look, one of my closest friends, saying, you know that what we're doing is right. He said, yes, I know. I said, why? He said, well, I'm in opposition. My job is to make the government look bad. You know, you are the governor of central bank, you go and defend your government. Just politics. The only reason the government compromised at that time, maybe we should know this, the only reason the government compromised and did 50% to 100% was Boko Haram. Because there were thousands of Nigerians on the streets in Lagos and Kano and Kaduna and all that. At the time when we had suicide bombers in the country. And there was a fear. If one day one of these suicide bombers goes to these Nigerians and explodes the bomb and you have 200 corpses, it will no longer be about subsidy. So you have to give President Jonathan the credit. He was determined to do it, but at the end of the day, the compromise was made, okay, to save Nigerian lives.
There is another perspective on the issue of fuel subsidy removal and the debate of how it impacted on the economy. And this is Mr. Atedopi Tisai's view on the matter.
I'm not one of those people when you're out of government, you fight against fuel subsidy. When you're in government, you advocate fuel subsidy. That's part of Nigeria's and Africa's problem. People take positions not based on the truth, but based on what a personal agenda they are pursuing. So I'll be the first one to give credit to this government for removing the fuel subsidy, which some of us started calling for from the very first economic summit over 30 years ago. But the same president must take the blame for sabotaging the efforts to remove the fuel subsidy in the past, in 2012. The speeches are there. So, but you know, they say it's the best time to have planted the tree was 25 years ago. The second best time is now. So let's focus on the now. The important thing is that the government has done the correct thing in terms of removing an unaffordable subsidy. The same government has done the correct thing, which has been done before, to give us what I will consider to be largely market-determined exchange rates, which gives you some exchange rates stability.
Mr. Todo put aside on the debate over fuel subsidy removal and the implication on governance in Nigeria. Now, another person who spoke at that event this time around trying to explain the effort of this government in dousing the tension that the economic policies may have caused on the average person is the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun. And there's a whole lot that has been given out according to him. Take a listen to him.
There is an attempt to ensure that the pains of reform have immediately been alleviated. And that's why there is in place a transparent, accountable, and robust system of providing direct payments in the first instance to a total of 15 million households. And you know, in the holding area, before we joined this gathering, there were comments that in their villages, in their towns, they had not had reports of anybody receiving those payments. So immediately we called for the data, and shortly we'll give them the data of the people that have received first, second, and/or third payments directly, because each individual is identified by their NIN, by their national identity number, and they are paid digitally, either to their bank account or to their mobile wallet. So there's accountability, transparency, there's a record. Of course, we would like to roll out an even bigger program of direct payments, but that's a key part of alleviating and ensuring that the reforms also produce gains right down to the lowest levels. And I will augment that particular item of reaching the poorest and the most vulnerable, and even as many people lower down the ladder.
Mr. Wale Edun, Minister of Finance. Well, our attention is on the People's Democratic Party. Are you a lover of democracy? Well, are you a member of the APC, the PDP, the ADC, whichever, or APGA, or whatever party you belong to? No one wants to see the very first political party in Nigeria, in the Fourth Republic, that brought at least the first 3 presidents die. Well, even if it doesn't, if it's not really active, it shouldn't die. There should be a legacy kept. If it's going to be kept in the museum, but it shouldn't die. But it does look like the way the PDP is going, the party might fast be digging its own grave deeper and deeper every day. Now, there is a national convention slated for late in November, but some group of leaders in the party had endorsed one of the prominent members and leaders of the party as the next chairman. But the former governor of Jigawa State said, look, you people are looking for trouble. You cannot do that. If I don't run, I will sue you. Get talking about that one. It's escalating so fast, and the issues are getting worrisome. So We'll be getting to talk about it. One of the eminent members of the party will be talking to us on the program. But first, let's check out some of the political roundup stories.
The All Progressives Congress in Plateau State has accused Governor Caleb Mutfwang of living in self-denial following his recent remarks that some individuals were mounting pressure on him to defect to the APC. In a statement issued in Jos and signed by the party's acting publicity secretary, Mr. Shitu Bamayi, the APC said the governor's claim was misleading, describing it as an attempt to divert public attention from what it termed his administration's poor performance and growing unpopularity. And the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has extended the ongoing collection of the permanent voter card in Anambra State to November 2 to enable eligible voters collect their cards. INEC's Director of Voter Education and Publicity, Victoria Etta Messi, disclosed this in a statement. According to the statement, the decision was reached at a meeting of the Commission held on October 27, following several appeals from citizens and stakeholders requesting additional time to enable eligible voters collect their cards. Meanwhile, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has warned politicians and stakeholders against violence in the Anambra governorship election, warning that such acts won't be tolerated. Ribadu spoke on Tuesday at the meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security held at the INEC headquarters in Abuja. The NSA, who was represented by the Director of Internal Security, Mr. Hassan Abdullahi, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to ensuring a peaceful and secure environment for the November 8, 2025 poll. And ahead of the 2026 off-cycle governorship election in Ekiti State, aggrieved members of the All Progressives Congress under the umbrella of coalition civil society groups in Nigeria have announced a rejection of the primary election, which produced the incumbent governor of the state as a consensus candidate of the party. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the president of the group, Oladimeji Olatunji, says the outcome of the primary election is a deliberate discrimination against other aspirants who have been disenfranchised through an unpopular consensus arrangement. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Betoku, has reaffirmed the transparency and credibility of the Nigeria Police Force's promotion processes, declaring that there is no promotion scandal in the Nigeria Police Force. The IGP, who said this in Abuja during the decoration ceremony of newly promoted senior police officers, says the elevation of the newly appointed Deputy Inspector General of Police, Assistant Inspector Generals of Police, and Commissioners of Police is a testament to the transparency of the force to reward excellence. The IGP adds that recent criticisms surrounding the force's promotion process is baseless, as he insists that every promotion exercise conducted under his administration was transparent and merit-based.
All right, and let's tell you that President Bola Tinubu has written to the Senate seeking the confirmation of the newly appointed service chiefs, the request which covers the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluye, the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Wahidi Shaibu, Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Idi Abbas, Chief of Air Staff, Vice Marshal Kennedy Aneken, Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General Emmanuel Udiendeye, was announced by the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, during a plenary session today. In the correspondence, the President says the Senate to give expeditious consideration to the appointment. The request has been referred to the Committee of the Whole for screening and confirmation of the nominees. Might be seeing that happening faster than envisaged. We understand that it should have happened next week, but it may be happening tomorrow. We'll be watching to find out what are on the minds of the new service chiefs, whose jobs and titles or their roles are now in procedural limbo until they're screened by the Senate as prescribed by the Nigerian Constitution. It has been some roller coaster and a lot of drama within the People's Democratic Party. So leaders of the PDP in the northwest and northeast and the northern region of the country, some of them came together and they gave their endorsement to a former minister under the Goodluck Jonathan administration, Mr. Tani Moturuki. And he's been endorsed in giving a unanimous opportunity to be the next chairman of the People's Democratic Party. This was the event where they made that decision, and allow you to listen to how they arrived at that decision of making Turaki Tanemu, whose friends and allies have now gone ahead to obtain the nomination from some of the leaders, including former governors, present-serving governors, senators, and leaders of the party in that region. This is how they arrived at their decision. Take a listen.
We have met this evening to deliberate and take decision on the office of the chairman of our great party, the PDP, which was zoned to the north. And in our meeting, we have reflected deeply and widely through consultation and going to Ibadan for our national convention. We have adopted a consensus candidate to represent the north and by extension Nigeria as the chairman of the PDP. And that gentleman is KT Turaki, SAN. This is our decision this evening, and he is the person we are presenting at that convention as our chairman to represent our party.
Hamadu Fintiri, as the governor of Adamawa State, speaking on behalf of some of the governors and leaders of the north, and said they want to go with a common front. But it doesn't look like that is going down well with what we saw happen. A former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, is lamenting the decision of some of these leaders. And he went ahead to the party office yesterday where we met the organizing secretary of the party and the national secretary, Senator Sanil Ayengu. And these are the views of the former Jigawa State governor. He said, trouble looms if the party goes ahead in a manner in which they are endorsing a unanimous or a common front for the chairmanship seat. Take a listen to what Mr. Lamido said after his business at the party head office yesterday.
Well, I went to the office of the Nation of the NSO, which is normally the office where the phone normally sold. And the office was locked by, I don't know, it was officially locked, because of his own position. So I met him with the secretary of the party, Atiwan Yawu. I said, look, I'm here to buy the form. All of them, they have no idea where the forms are. Try and get the form, I'll go to court. Simple.
So what does the PDP need to win in 2027? What does the PDP need to do to win in 2027?
The PDP, should be able to organize its own house and should know they run the party based on the constitution of the party.
So, former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, but the national secretary of the party, Simon Anyu, has his own views about the whole thing.
I also want to run because I have entitled to run for a second term.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, I've lost the form. Not for the civil level of the form. I've not even seen any aspirant. I don't know if it's any aspirant.
There's someone who is an eternal optimist of the PDP. I don't know what this man will do if PDP is deregistered or the party eventually goes into extinction. He believes so much in the People's Democratic Party, and no matter what he says, he will not rest until he have his voice on the fact that the PDP has a future. But what we're seeing happening, there is a danger looming. I'm being joined tonight by Chief Olabode George, a member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, who is live for us virtually tonight on the program. Thank you so much, Chief George. I know you are an eternal optimist about the People's Democratic Party. But I fear when I see these things, I probably had been around for a while when it comes to Nigeria's politics of the Fourth Republic. And we know when these kind of things are happening, when there's an endorsement and there's a counter to that endorsement, we know that there is trouble. What gives you the biggest fear about how these things are playing out?
No, Tim, good evening. And let me say thank you for inviting me to state my own position on this issue. First and foremost, let me go a little bit historical. You know, the convention we are holding now is a midterm convention. in ideal situation, a midterm convention is usually a non-elective convention. But because of the crisis we have had in the past, the need to replace some of the managers of the party, came up. I will advise, because I didn't see the first picture that you showed. If you look at it, there were quite a number of elders and governors and who were present at the Fintri meeting. The argument from Sule Lamido, my good friend, is that they didn't allow them, they did not give them the forms, they, handled it secretly. And for me, this party is a formidable party. We all cannot sleep and face the same direction. I remember even the very first convention we had, presidential, despite the fact that it was zoned, the chairmanship was zoned to the south. I remember the late Alhaji Rimi stated emphatically that he is not going to quit and that he was going to contest. And he contested, he lost, and he was calm. Now, the fact that I have seen a few leaders from Northwest there, and some of the other governors, the only governor in Northwest that is on our party himself was there. If those who don't like that procedure of saying we have a consensus candidate, they have every right to contest at the convention. And he's talking about the forms. I will appeal. Anybody else who wants to take the form, give them the form. At the convention, people will make a move. They could even invite them to make 5 minutes talk to the main body of the convention. Because the people have forgotten that the procedure in our party is democratic. And I would plead with the managers of the convention. The Governor Fintiri is the chairman of the National Convention. If anybody says he still wants to contest, allow them, please, to contest. You don't hold them. If you have a consensus candidate, which is also normal, and the others are saying they are not ready to listen. This is an array of leaders from the north. And if the Lamido is not here in the congregation, I can see some people from the North Central, and even the North Central is getting very angry that they should have left the position of the chairmanship in their zone. By and large, we can win it all. But if anybody says he wants to contest, give him the necessary tools, let him come to the field. So the way you are translating what is going on in PDP as if it's completely destroyed. No, people will, when we sit, we will meet, we will discuss, we will exchange ideas. If he's so hell-bent on making sure that he's not happy, let him go and get the form. Let them give him the form.
Chief Bode George, this is the similar question that I asked you, and you said the party is still standing. You lost how many governors, and the party, and you still believe so much. So you know that when there's an erosion, it does not get really cut off in one day. It wears off gradually, and there is a wearing off. The PDP is bleeding. At some point, it might lose its life, because when blood is taken totally out of the body, the heart stops to beat. And the fear is that once you, and we are hearing now, Governor Dixon has left, Enugu governor has left. We are hearing that a few more people are leaving your party. What else, or who else will be in the party when this kind of crisis is bedeviling it?
Listen, if you go to vote at the polling station, do you see the name of any governor? Do you see the name of any individual? It is the party. The base is still strong. Those who are moving and shifting and saying are individuals. And the day they became governors, who voted for them? The people. We will still go. You cannot have, is there any organization, including your own organization there, that you don't have crisis? The ability of the managers to manage, discuss, debate, agree, disagree, is a measure of our competence. It is not a lackluster ability that we are draining out into the ocean. No. Look, what is going on now is that they said it is zoned to Northwest. North Central is arguing that no, they should leave it with them. Then the other gentleman, my good friend, the former governor of Jigawa, says that he is ready to contest and he must be given the form. There's nothing wrong in that. Look, I spent the whole of my life. We were the first elected people into the party. Allow them to go and get the form.
Chief George, apologies. I mentioned Governor Dixon earlier. I was trying to reference Governor Deary because it was Senator Dixon that was vehemently opposing it. I would like to go on a break. I would like to go on a break. But when we return, the fears that I have, I'd like you to douse it because I know you have always been taking bullets for the PDP. Except that the party doesn't look like an entity that is ready to withstand any more bullets because of what is going through right now. But the question is that is it right for the governors and the leaders to say they have a consensus candidate? Is it also easy for you to go into that kind of convention without having a consensus candidate? In all of it, a lot of people say the PDP is between the hard place and the rock.
No
so we'll be
problem. We are ready.
Chief Judge, stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get back to the conversation. Chief Olabode Judge has been speaking with us on the situation in the People's Democratic Party ahead of the Ibadan Convention. Chief Judge, I was going to ask you that question. Was it right for those leaders, as we saw Governor Fintiri relay the message about the consensorship of Turaki Tanimu SAN as the next chairman of the PDP? Because that is what it means. When you go to a convention and say you have a consensus candidate, you've already predetermined it's just for it to be ratified. It's saying that Turaki Tanimu SAN is the next chairman of the party. With the kind of crisis and situation the PDP is in, is that the right decision of some of these leaders?
This has been part of the behavior and the practice in the PDP. But having said that, the fact that those leaders, converged and supported one individual as the consensus candidate doesn't mean that others will not compete. It doesn't mean so. You want to make the process seamless. You want to make the process not combative. It's an internal dynamics. So we had done this in the past, but they never, the party told anybody, you cannot contest. They have finished it. My friend, the governor of Jigawa, Sule Lamido, has the right to compete. So he can go and get the form, fill the form, and follow the normal process, and appear on the day of the convention. We will vote. We will vote. That is the practice in our party. And we announce for the party members. You know, he's chairman, not chairman of Nigeria as a country. He's chairman of the party. So consensus procedure is also acceptable in the party. So I don't see what is. Look, this party is not owned by any individual. The only thing we are now in the news. You have gone to court. Well, there are areas. Before you take the party to court, you must exhaust the internal dynamics of the party. And if you fail to do that, you can be punished. So he's exercising his right. He wants to go. But if he goes to court for this, he can be punished. Let him go. Nobody will deny him any form. And he can throw in his towel and compete. And the final decision will be by the delegates attending the convention. And it will be well done in the open. I don't, when do you people start thinking, look, we are a developing nation. And to develop is not a 100-meter dash race. It takes time. And the things we are doing, there's nothing new. So I will plead with him. If he still wants to contest, yes, he goes there. Even if the forms, I'm told that to collect the forms, fill the forms, return the forms, and wait for the committee that will screen you. Once you go through that process, you are allowed to come and contest. Even people from the south, despite the fact that we have said that this thing is in the north. Anybody who still wants to, you can go, waste your money, go there, and the people who will be delegates will either vote for you or not. It's not a new. So it's not a devilish thing, and it is not something that we take as if, if we don't do that, the whole structure will collapse. No, sir. It will not collapse. So let us wait. The process, we are still going through the process. The managers of the party have zeroed in on an individual. Let it be. If you want to compete with him from that zone, go and get the form and compete.
Chief Judge, isn't this one of the reasons that there are those who say, look, this is a problem that the PDP has always had when a group of influential leaders of the party come together and make decisions for the rest of the party without consulting and getting their opinion. And this is one of the things that Sule Lamido was talking about. That who did you consult? How did you arrive at the consensus candidate? Why do you want to put all of us out and lock the door against us because of your own interest? These are some of the issues that have been raised. It seems that the PDP is repeating its own problems.
No, Sheung, please listen. You know what? This party is not owned by any individual. The party in government is the one that is owned by an individual. And he didn't hide it when he said it publicly, that I own the party. They don't even allow you to compete. They just announce, you are selected through some, voodoo procedure, and they come out. I am challenging you. All these things we are doing. It is because you must convince the public that we are a better party to manage the resources of this country for the betterment of the people. There's nothing secret about it. It's not a cultism. The attitude is honest. If our constitution allows you to do a consensus, and we didn't shut the door for those who say, I don't agree with you, I will still go to the field. He can still come to the field. As long as he meets all the other requirements, he are allowed. It's not a national election. It is within a procedure within the party. And the party accepts the fact that, yes, you may all agree for a consensus, but those who didn't fall into that consensus group, you are free to buy the ticket and go and compete. Your name will appear on the ballot box. Simple. So this is not the issue. My main concern is let us get ourselves together. At some point, once people will be seen physically voting on the day of election or the convention.
Now, I mean, perhaps what will give a lot of people concern is the lawsuit in court against the PDP convention. There are those who are saying there are issues with the convention and they've gone to court to challenge the organization of the convention in Ibadan. And that matter, I understand that maybe will be heard maybe tomorrow or Thursday in court because there was a drama in court the last time the matter came up for hearing at the Federal High Court in Abuja. But in all of these, one thing that it comes down to is whether or not the party is able to pick itself up and forge ahead. Because every day people keep leaving. People are hoping to leave the party. But why is the party finding itself, in all of this? We're due for another break, Chief Judge. Stay with me. We'll be right back to discuss on the crisis within the party and the way forward for it. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. I was asking Chief Bode George earlier, there were 3 members of the PDP who had gone to court, one from Imo, another person from Abia State, and there is also a Tona Alaba judge, a PDP secretary in the South-South region, who had gone before the court, aggrieved members of the party who are asking that the convention should not go forward because of their grievance. But we saw a drama play out between the lawyers who came to say they were being briefed by Mr. Damagum and the national legal advisor of the party, Mr. Ajibade. But in all of these, you think that the party bickers politically, but legally, when they got in front of the court, there's another one moment, one trouble for the PDP. Are you worried that even the convention may not happen with the way things are going?
No, Sheung. There is no organization, and I keep repeating this for you, that would not have one crisis or the other.
You told me this in 2015, Chief Judge, that you got a bloody nose because you are it's a family problem. 2015, you have not. 2019, the same thing. 2023, the same thing. Chief Judge, this is 2025. The family problem has degenerated into a regional crisis, a problem of beyond your family.
I don't know whether I was in the military. And after my military training, I came into the civil life. In the civil life, human behavior is very important. And it can range from 0 to infinity. Whereas in the military, you have been cocooned, you have been trained, you have been factualized in a particular position of behavior. If you fall out of that, you know the consequences. So, but in this civilian issue, people you meet on daily basis range from 0 to infinity in terms of their behavior. So you will find all kinds of characters. And you must, as a leader is like a dustbin. You find all kinds of people that will fire demonic missiles at you. But as long as you remain calm, you go through the normal procedure of management, then the public will see you that, the way you have managed your crisis is a measure of your competence, and they can trust you. Now, let me give you a little example of what happened in Lagos. 38 members voted to impeach the speaker. What happened? He was returned there against 38 members. So you are talking, yes, we are not in government now, but we have the capacity to ensure that we keep the party intact. I have said severally that this party is an
there seems to be some glitch there. But of course, you know that Sule Lamido, the former Jigawa state governor, has already gone to court to drive home his point. Now, it will mean that the party will be battling multiple legal issues ahead of that convention, while one hand on the consensus candidature that some of the leaders in the North had agreed on about who becomes the next chairman of the People's Democratic Party. They've reposed that trust in Tanimu Toraki SAN. But, I mean, there are those who are not happy, like Sule Lamido, of course. There is also the court case, on the other hand, which were filed with suit number FHC ABJ TS 2120-2025, brought before the Federal High Court by 3 agreed members of the PDP, Honorable Austin Nwachukwu, Imo PDP Chairman, Honorable Ama Ibrahim Nana, Abia PDP Chairman, and Tona Alab George, PDP Secretary in the South, basically asking the court to stop the convention from going on, or those who are saying that the anti-convention forces within the PDP. But Chief George, I see that you are back with us. I was going to remind you that I hope you are aware that Sule Lamido has eventually gone to court.
Okay. He's going to court today. That's an unfortunate behavior. He is a founding member of the party. The fact that something doesn't go, and you remember, the top echelon of the judiciary stated, and in one of these cases, that such cases should end up in your party. Go back to your party. They cannot just be deciding things for you. Any joker can head out to court. What is it that he has gone to court to ask, to seek for? That, they had a consensus candidate. He is one of the G14 members. He knew how the party started. The party is not acting outside its procedure. So what is he going to tell the court? And I said it. If he really wants to contest, he doesn't need to go to court and contest for ABCD. Let him go and take the form.
Chief Bode George.
The convention.
Chief Bode George, let's wrap up now. Should the convention in Ibadan fail to happen, what miracle will the party be left with? What options is available?
If it happens, if there is any judge who will say we cannot hold our convention, the Supreme Court, I am stating it emphatically, that the Supreme Court has told us, and given a ruling, all these shenanigans, go back to your party. They don't want to decide for you. You have your procedure, hand over everything to the party managers, and they can be resolved. Why are you going there? You are telling us we cannot hold our convention? What is wrong? The last NEC meeting we had, INEC was present. They listened. They had every decision taken, And those things were stated and laid down. So who are these characters now throwing tantrums? Are they real genuine members of the party? I don't think so. And the party, once we have new managers, must live up to its standard. It's a diversion. And it is not only a diversion, it's a digression from normalcy. Who are these characters? You head to court. Supreme Court said, go to your party and sort yourselves out. So why are these judges listening to these characters?
All right. Chief Olabode Judge, your party definitely will need some saving and some miracle. The greatest fear and the worry that I have as a person is the problem with opposition party and not being able to stand up to the ruling party, because when the ruling the opposition party is having internal problem, they wouldn't even have time to sort out the issue. But since you're a Christian, Chief Bode Judge, since you're a Christian, you know that if you believe in the power of miraculous, or of spiritual healing, I know your party can receive it. And you know Lazarus died, and he was risen from the dead after he was smelling, and he rose by the power of the Spirit. So you might get some spiritual power to rise the PDP from this trouble and from the illness. But thank you so much, Chief Judge. We're totally out of time. Thank you so much.
But let me tell you this.
That's our show tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure Akimale. God bless Nigeria.